All right, how is everybody doing tonight? Happy Hump Day. It's been a minute. Been a minute since I've been on camera. Yeah. It's kind of incognito for a little bit. So welcome to the Dragon Slayer. Trying to get a few things set up here. Sorry about that, guys. Last minute preparation, I guess.
Yeah, it's my fault. It's always my fault. Just blame me.
Is it though?
Probably. Seeing as how I sent you the streaming image a little late.
Yeah, kind of did on that, but that's okay. I forgive you. I forgive you just this once. Don't let it happen again.
Yes, Amasa. Yes, Amasa.
Well, it could be worse. You could be like the quartering and bail out somebody and say
Don't say it. Don't say it.
No, it's not like that. He said he refers to Styx as his indentured servant. He owes him 16 shows. I'm like, what the hell?
Wow.
Right on stream, I'm like, are you for real? I'm like, wow. Well, that's okay. He was grifting. He wanted 800 memberships, right? To get $8,000 to bail out this guy.
Oh my god.
So yeah, that was an interesting thing. I've just been kind of paying attention to stuff on the sidelines here for the last couple of weeks. Haven't really dived too deep into it, but Ivan's like, today's topic in the news is.
Oh boy, Ivan. We love you, Ivan, but yikes.
Today's news is Hurricane Milton. Milton is coming in, and it's gonna huff and puff, and it's quite windy.
It's quite windy, and
so I'm gonna say, be safe, people, because I know it's making landfall tonight. So my thoughts and prayers go out to each and everybody in Florida, because holy crap, that looks like a devastating storm. They were saying water surges of 15 feet.
Yep.
It's like, holy crap, be careful, guys. Please be safe out there. I'm just hoping that this storm doesn't decide to go and do a U-turn and go back towards the coast again. I hope it just goes out to sea and goes away.
Yup.
That's the only thing that worries me, because, North Carolina still hasn't recovered from that hurricane they had, so.
Yeah, Hurricane Helene or whatever it was.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. That one, so Milton was one of those that was wacky. It formed right in the Gulf from what I was reading, and I'm like, that don't happen very often for it to just pop up in the Gulf like that.
Yeah.
That's and then how strong it got, like all of a sudden it was just a Category 5. I'm like, holy crap. I was like, that's wild to me. So, yeah.
Yes,
they said it's the fifth
wild.
Or fourth strongest hurricane in history. I'm hoping it weakens significantly, but I don't know. I haven't really followed up on it, and I haven't been watching the TV, so I don't know what it's like. But I saw Aiden Ross, who's a big streamer, was offering like somebody $70,000 to go film it. I was like, what?
What?
Yeah, I'm like, that is the dumbest thing that I ever. Hey, I'm gonna go stand out in the hurricane. Hi, hurricane! It's like, no. I can't believe that. I can't believe I saw that. But,
oh my god.
Yeah, it's like, wow. But yeah, I saw pictures of traffic was backed up. If you hadn't left like 4 or 5 days ago, you were kind of screwed.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
So yeah, that's insane. 2 hurricanes back to back.
Yeah.
And they were saying,
I don't remember the last time that's happened.
It's been a while. And then they said,
I mean, if we had hurricanes in the same year, kind of close together, but literally these were like 1 week and then the next week, right?
Yeah.
Like something close, like really close together. Like I don't remember the last time two hurricanes were that close together.
No, I don't remember that. I saw an article earlier where they're talking about the flood insurance companies are already trying to get ready to go bankrupt because they don't think 15 billion is going to be enough to cover it, which just means our premiums go up here. That's not on the coast. And I'm just thinking to myself, that's part of the problem. You have very expensive housing, you have the ritzy housing, you have the mansions, you have all that. And when you get those hurricanes, you know, nothing's safe. It ends up costing a lot of money, which kind of leads me to believe that if I was a multi-millionaire, I sure as hell wouldn't build in Florida with a mansion. If I wanted a summer cottage or something where I could just, go, I just have a normal house or something, but I sure as hell wouldn't spend millions of dollars on anything like that, because holy crap. Because we saw some of those mansions with Orcosaurus on our housing house, over millions of dollars for some of those houses. It's like
house hunting on the Dragon's Lair on the DJ and Green stream coming this Saturday night.
That is true. We are for Dragonween, we are definitely doing another house shopping to see if we can find some fun dungeons and other things that,
Yes, but before we get to the fantasy of the house hunting, we're actually going to go through my old house.
Yeah,
so that's gonna be
and make
fun.
fun of your old house.
No, you can't make fun of the old house. I mean, it depends on which old house, but not
it depends on which old house. And Ivan says, one reason don't live in Midwest, the damn tornado ruined the house all the time. I've lived in the Midwest all my life, and I've yet to see I've been near 2 tornadoes, but they were literally down on the ground for 2 seconds and whoop, back up in the air.
Yep.
So, I mean,
I lived in and people will say Kentucky is the South. It really isn't. Kentucky is very Midwest kind of thing.
I almost feel like Kentucky's almost considered almost east side of the U.S. though, not Midwest.
It is. Well, I mean, it's kind of.
When I think of Midwest, I think of like Ohio, Indiana, Missouri, Arkansas. Some parts of Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, North Dakota, Wisconsin,
has the mountains.
Yeah, but before in the Midwest, maybe you consider that with Colorado before you get to the Rockies. Maybe, I don't know, something like that.
Yeah, I think the Rockies are the dividing line. But anyway,
but yeah, that's
like the tornadoes and even the hurricanes and even the major storms in this area, whether it's out in Kansas where you are, whether it's in Indiana now where I am, it's very rare. Like the 2 years that I've been living in this apartment, the 2 years I've been living in Indiana so far, we've had one major tornado, hurricane, storm warning thing in 2 years. Everything else has been like, and I'm in northern Indiana. I'm not like southern Indiana is like on the northern border of Kentucky kind of thing. So like it's not like I'm down in the southern part of Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
I'm up north where a lot of this stuff could really happen, and it hasn't. It's happened once. Literally, I have one.
Oklahoma's probably the one that I would consider if you're looking at it as more the tornado alley. Because that 1 year, I remember there was like 5 or 6 tornadoes just... And Joplin, Missouri always seems to get hit with tornadoes. I don't know what it is about that area, but... And Ivan says, why a wooden house? Why not build concrete house to last the tornado? Concrete does not look good. Concrete, it could be more expensive. And you'd have to... The structure would be a lot different if you did that. I mean, I've seen people build houses into hills even, which is much safer in the long run. The only downside you have to worry about is if your roof's your ceiling that seals up starts leaking, you're going to get a lot of water from the top of the hill. But I mean, you could do something like that, but wood's just always been the cheapest thing. Then they go to brick, which brick is okay, but the worst part, if you're living in the Midwest, brick heats up quickly.
Yeah, it does.
And then next thing you know, you're spending a fortune in air conditioning. But yeah, I don't know why they do that. I could see more concrete probably if you're definitely down in the hurricane areas, but I think it's just the appearance of it, and the cost of it would be too much. Because I mean, you got to think you're dealing with rebar, you're dealing with concrete's not cheap, and then you have to form the concrete, and then you have to worry about cracks in the concrete. I just don't think that's sound structure for the most part. I mean, a lot of buildings, major skyscrapers and stuff are concrete and stuff, but you're dealing with steel and all that.
Yeah, you're dealing with steel and people who have multi-billion-dollar amounts of money and everything else and all that. I think for houses, it just depends on the style of house you want, and it depends on what your budget is if you're building a house kind of thing.
Yeah.
Most houses that are on the market, most houses that are and now we're so far into, I mean, between you and I, we're both 44. It's been 44 years, and I remember my uncles were in construction. My three uncles, Richard, Robert, and Patrick, they actually built our house.
Mm-hmm.
It was a split level in Kingston, Massachusetts. It was brick and stuff for the foundation and all that and everything else. But it was, I think, was it not? I forget. It was a good old house.
And Ivan says wood always gets wrecked by tornadoes. No, not always. Yeah. Tornadoes are kind of hit and miss. I mean, you could be in the neighborhood of where a tornado drops down, and there. All these houses lined up, and it decides, I'm gonna leave that house alone and just wreck every other house. Tornadoes are so unpredictable when it comes to that. And then Ramcross says, earthbag house, baby. They're super strong. Yeah, they're the best, I hear, for earthquakes and stuff. But are they practical for most people? Probably not. But they are super strong. Yeah, so I mean, it just kind of depends.
I mean, it's not like you're going to build a house out of peanut butter chocolate.
No, which is an interesting thing Jeff did there. I mean, but I don't know. That just still sounds gross on toast.
It's not. Oh, okay. It's not gross by itself, eating it off the spoon. It's basically chocolate and peanut butter.
It's Reese's peanut butter cups without the...
But it's not. It's a completely different flavor than Reese's.
Really?
It really is. It's their own unique Jif peanut butter flavor with chocolate infused into it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had it on toast yet, but I'm working on that. So I'll give a report next week.
And Ramcross says choose materialistic ways or sturdy. I mean, that's just it. A lot of people want it to look absolutely perfect, pristine, pretty. I mean, and that's... I read a comment earlier when they were talking about the flood insurances.
Mm-hmm.
And they're worried about this could be the end for flood insurance altogether, especially since FEMA has no money, is what all these New York Post and all them saying. Well, here's the thing. A lot of you got to think about, we've had hurricanes for quite a long time. We really didn't build the luxury houses and stuff. We built what was practical for those regions. Right. Now, today, we build super mansions and, $500,000 homes and all that are fancy, ritzy, and to be fair, those probably aren't the best thing to do in certain areas. But what we saw in the house on our house stream, there was literally a man-made island right connected to inland, where it was like almost a drawbridge, and I'm like, just right in the ocean, and it was like $10 million house, and I'm like, yeah, You get one big storm surge, unless there's something that protects it. Goodbye house.
Yep.
I mean, you're literally rolling the dice on it for having those $1 million mansions and stuff. That's what hits the insurance companies hard. It's those houses that just destroy whatever they have. No, I'm not defending insurance companies on it, but yeah.
Yeah, it's all very, very crazy.
And Mike's, I eat chocolate peanut butter only on Christmas while I watch Die Hard. Sounds about right.
No ram.
And
no.
Ivan says, man brought out a Duke Dam protect home from flood, and it worth every penny while his neighbor's house laughed at him first, but later the house got flooded.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, you could also build flood walls, I guess, but you'd need like 15 feet flood walls for those hurricanes. Because, I mean, and 15 feet, they were showing that's pretty much the roof of most houses.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, so Aquadam, okay. But it's hard to say on that. I mean, then I don't know. It's one of those things that we'll have to see, you know. Definitely prayers for those in there. Kind of go from there. Toxic positivity. You know, we look at a lot of the stuff today. You know, we want to have a culture of toxic positivity where we focus only on the positive and we only focus on positive emotions. And this is big predominantly now in movies and gaming industry. It used to be just the workplace where everybody has to put on a smile and everyone's happy even though you're not really happy. And I got thinking about the toxic positivity and how it affects journalism, and it impacts YouTube, and it impacts gaming and even movies. So you're going to have one group that believes we have to say everything's positive, everything's wonderful. This is the greatest game ever. This is the greatest movie ever. There's nothing better than that. But we don't really look at the whole picture of the flaws of the game, and we don't look at what could be improved. We try to bury it. And I'm not saying everybody, and that's where you have IGN and a lot of those that will do toxic positivity with the games and movies, especially sometimes it feels like they're getting paid by whatever company's doing it, saying, hey, we'll give you money if you just shill for it. But people forget that there's also too much negativity is a bad thing too. If you sit there and dog on a movie series, or you sit there and dog on a game for days and days on end, it's no different than toxic positivity. And I was thinking about that today because there was a YouTuber that said I was covering news and I was posting a lot of negative stuff, you know, Star Wars, all that, just how much it sucks. Then he says I started posting positive stuff, not toxic positivity, but just positive stuff. And his numbers went up, and he was questioning, and it was a discussion. He said, are people fed up with toxic positivity and negativity and just want a balance? Or what it is? Balance. What is it? And I got to thinking of it. There's two camps. You have your positive ones that are just trying to do nothing but positive because, you know, the world is negative for the most part. But then it feels like you're just covering it up with layers of grime and trying to hide whatever's on the surface. And so I want to pick your brain on that, chat. I want to pick your brain on that, Mike. Do we need more positivity and less negativity? Do we need less toxic positivity? I mean, what is your guys' thought on that? Because for me, I think positive's a good thing, but I still feel like there should be the cons still buried within it. We used to talk about the sandwich method at work, where here's a good, here's a bad, here's a good, here's a bad, and we end it with a good, so the bad are just crunched in here. But I'm curious on your guys' thoughts. And I apologize.
So while the dog barks,
Yeah.
the dog wants to make his
What?
All right then. Well, so toxic positivity, toxic negativity. First of all, get the toxic out of there. It shouldn't be toxic either way, at all. Positivity or negativity, and both.
So they just got home, so that's why they're all barking.
Okay.
That's like,
Well,
what the
welcome
hell's
home,
going on
everybody.
here?
Welcome home, everybody. What I was saying was, before you left there, or right as you left there, take the toxicity out of both of them. There needs to be a balance, but it shouldn't be toxic. If you want to be positive, be positive. If you want to be negative, be negative. If you're watching whatever you're watching, let's say you're watching Beverly Hills Cop 3, there are at least 4 to 5 different positive things I can say about that movie. There are at least 4 to 5 different negative things I can say about that movie. If you're reading a comic book, you look at it objectively. You like what you like, and you like what you don't like what you don't like. There does need to be a balance to it. Like for me, I'm not going to, there's, like you already said, there's more than enough negativity in this world. When I'm writing my blog stuff and everything else, I'm looking for things to talk about that I can be positive about. I'm not looking for things to, like, we literally just released an episode of All Things Transformers where 3 out of the 10 news stories, we had negative things to say about them.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it, we had positive things to say. The unfortunate main overall take on that episode was, though, that Hasbro just doesn't give a rip about the 40th anniversary of Transformers, because here we are in October, and they've barely done anything.
But Hasbro's in such dire straits now. I mean, but I get I get your point.
I know, but I'm saying, like, I was 4 years old when this thing happened, when this thing started with the Generation 1 cartoon. We've had 40 years. We've had so many multiple different incarnations of this thing. We just had a new animated movie come out. And my number one thing is why I think the $75 million budget didn't get made back, only made $25 million, is because nobody goes to movie theaters anymore.
That's the thing of the past. It really is.
Yeah, I know. I understand that. And it's very sad, but that's just the way that it is. I think that's why it didn't make its money back, because every person, Transformers fan or not, that I've talked to since that movie was released has said that their showings that they went to, there were maybe a maximum of 11 to 12 people, and probably 6.5 to 7 of those people were Transformers fans and not the general public. Hasbro and whoever, I forget who's Paramount or whatever the hell, they are trying, and I applaud them for doing this. They are trying to get, not me, not Steve, they're trying to get that new fan. They're trying to build them. That's why it's called Transformers 1. Mm-hmm. It's a restart. It's a refresh. It's a this. It's a that. And I understand it, but apparently nobody goes to movies anymore. It is what it is. And
it's true.
But the positivity, negativity thing, first of all, take the word toxic out of it. Yes, I understand there is toxic things on both sides of it. I just want a balance between positivity and negativity.
Where's the toxic Avenger when you need him?
In some swamp somewhere in Florida, under a hurricane? I don't know. Stay safe, Toxic Avenger.
I wonder how many people remember the Toxic Avenger.
I bet Ivan doesn't. I bet Ivan's too young.
Ivan says that new Transformer movie is such a kid movie, not a teen movie.
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen the trailers, but that's kind of the point, Ivan, honestly. Like I said, it's for the new fans. It's
Yeah.
not. I mean, does it have things for us old time fans? Yes, it does, from what I've heard. But it's specifically for the new fans. It's to get new fans in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying on that, and that's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're just at some weird impasse when it comes to this, because it's, you either have too much positivity or too much negativity. It's like we just can't have a healthy balance.
Yep.
And I think the scales just keep going this way. And it's came to the point that, you know, I'm tired of seeing negativity just as much as I'm tired of seeing just straight positivity. I want to see a healthy balance. Just be critical about it with objectivity. I mean, I watched a Jason Statham movie today. I hadn't even heard of it. It was
oh god, you told me to.
What was the name of it today?
Not Warhammer. Oh
god. Let me look at it. Wrath of Man. And it was a typical story. I'm not going to do spoiler in case anybody hasn't seen it yet, because granted it's 2021, so I mean, you probably would have seen it by now. But it's literally typical cliche: a man on a mission, man out for revenge kind of thing, with little twists here and there. And honestly, I think the only thing I was disappointed with on it, other than the cliche story, because, you know, we are running out of ideas.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like at one point there was enough action, because it wasn't the old Jason Statham kicking ass. I enjoyed it up until like the last 40, 50 minutes, and then it felt like, okay, this ain't what I'm expecting anymore. This, because I'm used to him doing shit like he did in Crank or The Transporter and stuff, and I'm like, ugh, okay, I don't usually like his stuff. So it was different for me. So it ended up being an okay movie, but I remember telling Mike when I first watched the first time, this is actually pretty good so far. And you know, that to me right there, you could talk about the positives of it and then talk about the negatives. My negative would be there wasn't enough Jason Statham kicking ass like he normally does.
Yeah, there wasn't enough Statham action in it.
Which is what people usually expect when you go see one of his action movies.
Yep. Yeah.
Just kind of like when you see Bruce Willis, like his later years. Just like when you see Bruce Willis, you expect Bruce Willis to be out there kicking some butt. And then some of his later movies, there was no Bruce Willis kicking his butt. And so, you know, kicking butt. So some movies were okay, some weren't. Like Man of Fire was okay, but it wasn't necessarily like great. One second.
Yeah, I mean, the thing of it is you got to have the constructive criticism. Huge difference between positivity, negativity, and being constructive in your criticisms, either positive or negative. So, well, that's being nodded at on the screen. Yeah, it didn't do well, Ivan. We know, unfortunately.
Yeah, sorry.
It's all right.
But, can you shut my door, please? Thank you. Anyway, sorry about that. She had to ask me a question.
Sorry.
So that's kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, I think when I'm getting ready to start doing some of these reviews,
yep,
one of the big things that I was looking at is I kind of want to do a healthy balance. You know, I want to try to find the good, if there is good. Sometimes there is no good, and got to figure it out.
Well, yeah, sometimes there is no good, and sometimes you have to, unfortunately, waste your time to figure that out, whether there's no good or no bad, or sometimes there's all good and all bad. So, again, it's a balance. It's not a... it's not a one way or the other type of thing, and you won't know unless you try it, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's just that's not a difficulty.
Yep.
So the other thing we're going to talk about is streaming services. I think we're kind of at the death knell of streaming services, to be honest. You got YouTube premiums going up in price. You have Disney Plus going up in price. So their yearly charge is $140. Now it's going up to $160 for a year.
Okay, so I sent him. I was curious because credit where credit's due. Clownfish TV Neon put out a story on X the other day about how the Disney price hike is going from $79.99 to $139.99, and everybody was telling him, wait, that happened last October, which it did, because I checked my balances and I checked my payments and I checked my thing, which is why I sent you that image where I've already paid $140 for a year. Now, I don't mind paying $140 for the entire year, because then I don't have to worry about the little piddly $17.99, $18.99, whatever the monthly charge is. I have a full year of access to the service. I can watch whatever I want to on the service, and the only reason why I even use Disney Plus is because we're currently finishing off our Phineas and Ferb show podcast, and because I like some of the legacy content that they have on there. I'm not subscribed to Disney Plus to figure out whatever new thing Star Wars or National Geographic or
just
Marvel.
Remember one thing, Mike. Just don't go to Disneyland and get hurt or something, be on accident, or get something you're allergic to.
Covered that already. I don't leave my apartment, so there's no chance in hell if I'm going to California, it ain't gonna be for fucking Disneyland.
Did you sign up for Disney Plus? Oh, well, you're arbitration, even though it's our fault, and hey, we're arbitrating.
That was the dumbest.
Hey, at least they backed away on that one, but what happens on the next case and the next? They're going to look at these people that are their names say, hey, you did a trial of Disney Plus. You signed up for it. Arbitration. It's like,
that never made any sense to me whatsoever.
You can't, I mean, there's no way a court's going to allow that. Let's be honest. It's going to cost a person a shit ton of money to fight it.
Look at that. The judge is going to look at that, roll his eyes, and say,
"Because you literally signed up for the streaming service. We didn't agree to go to Disneyland and then waive all our rights." Our consumer protections.
That was so stupid. But so what I sent Kai was the fact that I already paid $139.99 for the year. My next charge, I think, is April of next year, which at that point in time it's going to go up another $20. So it's going to be $160 instead of $140 a year. I am curious to know what that extra $20 is going to go towards, because it's a streaming service, unless they're going to dump every Marvel movie thing that they promised us at this Comic-Con years ago, which they're not, because none of those projects are ever done yet at this point in time. But I don't know what else they could add. I don't know what else they could add to that service.
So you can see top shows like Agatha All Along and The Acolyte and...
Hey, look,
Willow.
I spent 8 hours, and I cut that down to like a 20-minute clip of my reaction to The Acolyte.
Are you ready to hit your head on the desk?
No. I'm too old, too fat, and the desk is too far down.
I guess apparently Ewan McGregor's been begging for a season 2 of Obi-Wan, and they may be greenlighting it.
I mean, story-wise, no, I don't even care. Whatever, I don't care. But story-wise, because I watched Obi-Wan, because I was curious. I was interested, because if it picks up, which it does, with him at his exile, him exiling himself, okay, fine. We had never seen, we see in Star Wars, in A New Hope, oh, hello there. We see old Ben Kenobi. He doesn't remember. He does remember. Whatever. So my curiosity with Obi-Wan was, okay, after all the Clone Wars stuff, after all the prequel movies and everything else, he's now self-exiled himself, so we now see these years of him being exiled. The problem with Obi-Wan is at the end of season 1, he meets Luke. So what's the next thing that a season 2 of that show?
I'm sure they'll bring in the third sister again, Reva, which honestly, here's the way it should have went with Obi-Wan.
Yes. So the way it should have been with Obi-Wan was just take his lightsaber and... Okay. I don't know what he was going to say, folks, and I'm sure he'll say it here in a moment, but I don't understand why we need... I understand Ewan's excitement over doing a second season if there was to be a second season, but I don't think there needs to be a second season of Obi-Wan. I just don't think there needs to be. And I'm not looking at the chat to see what's going on.
Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties here. Just bear with me a minute.
No problem. I gotta be careful. Ivan. No, Ivan. That's bad. No, Ivan. They gotta be careful with that, but no. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. I'm more excited to see an Ahsoka third season or whatever it is than anything else. Yes.
So, okay. Anyway, let's follow up. Sorry. What
were you gonna say about Obi-Wan?
I was interrupted. Honestly, I had a whole horde of people coming in here and trying to look for a camera. Yeah, and I'm like, I haven't had it. I gave it back to them. Security camera. Oh. Anyway,
no Obi-Wan season 2. I understand why Ewan is excited to maybe do it, but I don't know where that story could go from there.
So what I was gonna say is literally all they really needed to do was have a short story, have the rebellion or somebody need help with Obi-Wan, and there was a danger or some crap with leaving Luke and Leia out of it without messing up the whole continuum, and basically had Obi-Wan try to go help these rebels because of emergency, or it was a trap. One of the missing Jedi is needing help, and it's really a trap, and then Vader finds him, and they get into a fight. And Obi-Wan, who doesn't want to fight Vader at the time because he's still living with regrets of what happened or whatever, then, eventually fights him, maybe loses like he did the first time, and then second time he has his resolve to fight him. I did not mind the ending fight scene. I know a lot of people said it was dog shit and all. I don't think it was bad. I liked it. Yeah. I liked how they took Hayden Christensen and Earl Jones's voice to combine them together and basically fulfill the whole thing is you didn't kill Anakin, Obi-Wan, I did, which led to Obi-Wan saying that he was killed by my apprentice Vader.
Right.
Which, okay, I didn't mind that tie-in. There was some good things I liked about it. Yeah. But you didn't need to have the third sister in it, because that was just throwing some crap in the story that wasn't... Because, of course, we're not following the EU. We're not following the continuum. We're not following any of that anymore. We're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And unfortunately, a lot of them believe that Star Wars fans are the worst because... they like the EU. They want what was there. And that's what Disney cannot wrap their head around. And they don't want to pay royalties or rights to the extended universe. So they're trying to...
Which is stupid.
So they're just trying to crap whatever they can, which that means thanks to Kathleen Kennedy and all them, they have just ran Star Wars to the ground. And it's going to take, the best thing they could do, realistically, is, yeah, they may have to cast a new Han, they may have to cast a new Leia and a new Luke. And I know that sucks for some people, but find somebody that's good and continue after Return of the Jedi and follow the extended universe once Disney either sells it, or a lot of the people that have wrecked Star Wars are no longer employed there or whatever. That's the only way you can fix course correction. But I think it's too little too late. I think you're slowly driven out the Star Wars audience, just like you're slowly driving out the Marvel audience, because Disney doesn't know what it wants to do. So when you look at these, they want to charge you more money on the streaming service for their crap.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't worth it. It's literally them trying to make up for the fact that they screwed up so bad on all these shows. They're trying to find some way to make redemption and money, because there's no reason to increase the price. It's the same with Netflix. There's no reason. I mean, they should just stay out of politics. Last I heard, they were tanking in subscriptions because they decided to jump into politics. They should have stayed out of it. And you got HBO Max, they're constantly raising prices. Paramount is constantly raising prices. It's getting old because you have all these movies everywhere. And quite frankly, I'm at the point, I just watch YouTube anymore if I want some. Or I'll just play a game, or I'll read a book. Guess what I've been doing at nights? I've been reading a book again. I've been writing a book. I've been looking at that stuff again. I mean, it's just, entertainment has slowly went a strange way. And that's one thing that bothers me with Disney. And to ask for more money, that's just a slap in the face.
Yeah, I mean, if they were adding, like, okay, so perfect example, and this is a hard subject to talk about, unfortunately, but number of years ago, Lee Thompson Young, he took his own life. Lee Thompson Young was the star of the famous Jet Jackson, a Disney Channel original television series. Ever since Disney Plus has been a thing, they have never added that show to the lineup. And I don't think just because he took his own life that show shouldn't be on their platform. Because that show shows at a time when he was doing well or whatever, and it's a good show. And it's your standard Hannah Montana, Lizzie McGuire, whatever, Disney Channel show, but it has good lessons in it and everything else. But yet Disney and their infinite wisdom and the people that work at Disney Plus have not added it to the streaming service. I don't know why. It's not like it's Song of the South or anything.
So, yeah, I mean, that one, holy crap, we won't even touch that one.
No. But my point is that the famous Jet Jackson was a good television show that should be somewhere available for people to see. And yeah, I don't know why. Like, I don't know what the Disney Plus streaming service could offer. Because here's the thing, they were offering these things during the pandemic. If you're a Disney Plus subscriber, you could then pay them extra to see the movie early. It was like $30 to see whichever movie that was currently in theaters or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I will wait the 6 months until it actually hits your service, and I will watch it for the price that I pay on a yearly basis. I'm not giving you an extra $30 to watch the movie early. Now, if it's something where I'm not already paying for, like, okay, take Fandango. Fandango, for those that don't know, used to be Vudu. It was the Walmart streaming whatever, but it's not streaming. You buy it's essentially an Android version of iTunes. Essentially, you buy movies on there. You buy TV shows on there. I had been using Vudu for years on their website. I have a whole library of movies and TV shows and everything else. And they, at the time, during the pandemic, when things were not in theaters or whatever else, they would offer early access. but I'm not paying for Fandango. I'm not paying a monthly charge or a yearly charge for a subscription. If I wanted to get John Wick 3 for $50, I know I don't know what I don't remember what the early, but the point is, if it was in theaters and I'm disabled and I don't go to the theater and I want to watch the movie without waiting the 6 months till it actually comes on there at a normal price, I could sit there and pay it and be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm paying for your streaming service and you offer a plus up or whatever to get something early, no, I'm not giving you $30 to watch Cruella. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. It's so true. And then looking at the other thing I was going to talk about. So
Yes.
Twitch continues to do things, but here's the thing. Twitch has always had these rules in play. They just never really enforced them. And then once you have the VTubers now, it's causing some issues. Some people say, are we going back to 1960s with women? Are we going back to I Dream of Jeannie where everything's covered up? Or what's going on here? Because
let's hope not.
Because Twitch is getting weird, but yet they still have like what they call flesh tubers, which is me and you. Basically still walking around in thongs and everything and not getting in trouble. But apparently
there isn't enough money on this planet that will ever get me in a pink tutu. I don't care how many super chats you do, Ramcross.
Yeah, I had a thought on that one, honestly.
I know you did.
To do as many super chats as possible, and if we hit a goal, Mike has to wear a pink tutu, because I would send him the money, but we're probably not going to do it. Oh, if it was a lot of money, you'd do it.
$1 million, maybe.
Oh no. Depends on how desperate you are. I'm not that evil. Well, actually, in some circles, yeah. Well, I was gonna say in some circles I'm evil, but hey, go to jail. So anyway, Legal Mindset was talking about this and several others, and Legal Mindset's another law tuber that was talking about this. And so VTubers, I guess, have known about this for a while, but they are finding out that now it's being enforced even more, especially on avatars. So basically, they want a tire that basically covers, groins, buttocks, hips, female president, nipples, and under bust. They're all covered at all times. This is a guideline, and it must apply to VTuber models, but not video game characters, including those into games in VR chat. So this is where the argument is. In VR chat, which a lot of VTubers will go into VR chat, which is for 3D, so you can walk around stuff. That's allowed. So they could walk around in a bikini, which is no different than a VTuber right now. So they're like, what the hell, Twitch? So they're basically saying, all these ladies that have all these seductive VTuber models are now going to have, and there was somebody who posted a joke, put it on the chastity belt with Twitch as the logo in the center and all that.
All as I can think of is Robin Hood Men in Tights.
And I was talking with one of my friends that's a VTuber on Twitch. They said, I've known about I've had to keep my hips covered up at all times for my female model. And it's like, it's nothing new. And I said, it isn't? He goes, it's just they never really enforced it. Yeah. And then a lot of people are like that. So, and apparently one VTuber got banned by a moderator. So this is where the problem with Twitch, they don't apply it equally. The moderators don't do their job correctly, and they don't really follow an even streamline. So the one that I laughed is apparently somebody showed their feet in Portal, where half their body was going through a portal and the other part of their body was stuck in the portal on the other side. So you saw the one side of them from their torso on one side and the rest of them upside down with their feet, because they showed their feet. They got banned because they said somebody can have a foot.
Okay, I've said this for the past year and a half that I have been on Sky Dragon Media. Ever since Chaos left Twitch, I've kept up on the news on Twitch because of what we do here at the Dragon's Lair, but I have not been on Twitch. It's not that I don't want to support our VTuber friends or anything like that, the ones that are friends with us, but I will not go on that platform. There is nothing on the Twitch platform that could make me ever go back to it. I don't even think I have the app on my phone anymore. And I know I don't have the website anywhere in my history.
Yes, Ivan, it's true. This person got banned because they had one side of their model on one side and their other side of their model had their bare feet exposed. And that's it. There was nothing awful about it. And she found out that's why she got a 24-hour ban. Because I said, somebody can have a foot fetish, and that falls under the whole sexual seductive clause in there. And I'm like, really? We've fallen this far? I mean, wow.
Somebody could have a cheese fetish for all we know.
Yeah, Rescue Rangers there.
That's right, good old Monterey Jack.
Yep. And I'm just like, and Ivan says the forbidden feats. Yeah, I'm like,
oh my God, no.
I saw that on Twitch, and I've been rolling, and then people are trolling Twitch and saying, oh my God, this is the one thing to destroy Twitch, and they took a picture of their character's feet and posted on X. Says, this is the way to topple Twitch, show feet.
Oh my God.
It's like, it's the dumbest thing I've heard. Ivan says, if I show my feet wearing a sock, does that count as underwear against you? Probably it's Twitch. It's Twitch. It's Twitch.
They would be that stupid, Ivan. They would be that stupid that, oh my God.
Oh man. So I saw that and I was just like, man, I mean, I get that sometimes they're skating the line and they're being as seductive and no better than a lot of the ones that dress very like they're in Vegas. Let's just say that on Twitch. I mean, last I knew, Twitch used to be about gaming and had some talk shows, but now it's became basically OnlyFans Lite, and now they're trying to do course corrections and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't think Twitch can do it. I just don't. I don't see it. So, yeah, that's kind of news I've been following. And also, Indiana Jones was removed off Disney Plus.
Yes, it
except
was.
for the Dial of Destiny. So, if you want to watch the Dial of Destiny, well, there's your chance, even though it's the worst of them all. I'd rather watch Kingdom of the Crystal Skull over that one, so.
We are not covering Dial of Destiny or Crystal Skull. We stopped at Last Crusade with my buddy Dave and I on Studio 2009.
Which
the other movies don't exist.
Yep. The trilogy is where it's at. The rest is just poorly written fan fiction.
Yep.
So, all right.
Yeah.
We're moving on to Mike's topic he wanted to talk about tonight. So the press release. So let me set this up for you. So give me just a second here.
Yep. You are now on hold with the Dragon's Lair. Operators are standing by.
All right. I will fix that. That does not interrupt, right? Okay.
Nope. All right. So,
yoink.
Over the last 10 years, since January of 2014, My buddy Joe Reed and I have been covering the IDW TMNT comic books. I have been covering IDW comics since about, yeah, it was probably, no, we started with the Transformers ones in the early days of the pull bag. Anyway, so for the last 10 years, we've been covering the IDW comics. The main IDW run went from issue 1 to issue 150. They just ended it, and they just rebooted it with a whole new lineup with Jason Aaron and the writing and a bunch of other new artists, whatever else. After the end, or right before the end of the main original line that they were doing, the Turtles group editor, Mr. Bobby Curnow, had left the company. Now, my buddy Joe and I got to interview Bobby 2 different times in the last 10 years. And now, Bobby's back. So, from Los Angeles, California, October 9th, 2024, great comics require great editors, and IDW Publishing is incredibly proud to announce 2 immensely talented and acclaimed editors are joining the team. Bobby Curnow as editor-in-chief, and Andy Kahori as the senior editor of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. So I looked up Andy, because I know all about Bobby, but I looked up Andy, and Andy worked at DC. As an editor, he worked on things like Harleen, Wonder Woman. He worked on the Omega Men. He's worked on a bunch of stuff at DC and other things. I'm very excited about this because I'm very excited that we have Bobby back, and I know the way Bobby is and how he is going to approach IDW as editor-in-chief. So that is very, very cool. Very happy for him. And I'm looking forward to what this new era of TMNT Comics does. Because so far, I've read the first issue. I think they're like 3 or 4 issues in. The first issue was really great. And I've only read a few things by Jason Aaron before. He's a good writer, and I know that's an understatement to a lot of people. He did a lot of stuff at Marvel and everything else and all that. So I'm very curious. But my buddy Joe and I have to get through issues 124. We basically have like 26 comics left to finish off our coverage for the main line, and then we'll restart with this new line. But yeah, Bobby, can't wait to see what he does as the editor-in-chief, and hopefully turns IDW around. And then with Andy coming on as the Turtles editor, I'm going to be interested to see what happens in the future of Turtles.
So this is the press release, and then there's your Turtles.
Yep, that's the Rafael Albuquerque comic cover from issue 1. Like I said, I read issue 1. I very much enjoyed it. It very much is similar to what we had before. Like, it feels like a complete continuation, even though it's a reboot, it's a renumbering, it's a whatever, and Jason Aaron's going to do his own thing eventually, but it's still so very good, because I was skeptical. 10 years ago when Joe said, "Oh, we should do Turtles," and I'm like, "Okay, IDW has Turtles." And I read the first issue back then, and my biggest thing was I was a Turtles cartoon kid. I was not a Turtles comic kid. I was 4 years old when Eastman and Laird debuted their comics, so I was never into the original black and white Turtles comics. I was into the cartoon from 1987. And I've always liked the multicolor bandanas, red, blue, orange, purple, etc. for the 4 Turtles. So in the new comics for IDW at the time, 10 years ago, I immediately got to one page, and they're all wearing red bandanas. And I was like, "Wait, Joe, why? Why would you have me do this?" He goes, "No, it's worth it." I'm like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." I gave it a shot. 10 years later, here we are. We've got over 60 episodes. And there's a dog.
Yep, Wendy here.
Good old Wendy.
Come here, Wendy.
Good old Wendy and her Uncle Dave.
Come here, Wendy. You want a Frosty?
Can't have no Frosty.
This is, so if you haven't seen the gardening channel, this is Wendy the Wonder Dog, as Mom would call her. I call her the love bug, because she is such a sweetheart, and she, you know, I gotta say one thing: I love dogs. I'm a very big dog person. You know, dogs are great. I mean, I absolutely love dogs. I don't know where I'd be sometimes without dogs, Mike. They they know when you're not doing well. They know pretty much know and see everything. They're really, really, really incredible. And
yes, they do. The extrasensory perception of dogs is on another level.
yeah. But Mom shut the door on her, so give me 1 second. I'll let you continue to talk for a second, Mike.
So, yeah, IDW, Bobby Curnow, welcome back. Looking forward to everything you're going to do in the future, sir. I'm sure over on GeekCast Radio Network, we will have a new interview with you at some point. And like I said before, Joe and I have got to get through the last 20-something issues of the comic, and then we will start with the new stuff with the Jason Aaron run.
Okay. Let's see. What's the next thing you wanted to talk about, Mike?
I don't know. What was it? I don't remember. I just finished up before the show tonight. I just finished up a second interview with the Dynamic Music Partners, Christopher Carter, Lolita Romanis, and Michael McQuistion. They had released Batman Beyond Volume 2 this year, last month actually, and it is 98 tracks, digital release only. It's at all your digital streaming services. It is a selection of Season 2 episodes from Batman Beyond, which include, let me see if I can find that thing there, which include, so this is 98 tracks. The episodes that are included on this is Splicers, Lost Soul, Earth Mover, Bloodsport. This is all from Season 2 of Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond is 25 years old this year.
Hard to believe it's that old. I remember watching that in my teens and just like, teens? No, in my late 20s.
We were 19, 20 when that show.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that was around the time Justice League was coming out too. Justice League,
Justice League was 2 years later. So Batman Beyond ran for 3 seasons from 99 to 2001, and then Justice League started in 2001 to 2006.
Yeah.
So,
which I always liked when they revealed that Terry McGinnis really was Bruce Wayne's son.
Yep.
Proving that it was genetics. It wasn't just Batman can make anybody.
Well, I mean, technically, it could have been anybody, but they tied that in for continuity's sake. And it was which you got to think, like, you want to talk about time stuff, dude. That show debuted in 1999. The year of that show was like not when we first see Bruce, but the years after that when Terry first starts. That is 2039. We are not that far away from 2039, and we don't have our Batman Beyond future yet.
No, but I saw some interesting stuff, and I don't know how true it is, but that they have found a way to replicate steak and beef and all that by using blood from the cow, and now they like 3D print stuff, and I'm like, what the hell?
No.
I saw that the other day, and I said, I'm not eating that. I want my steak actually from a cow that mooed one time. I'm just like, I'm just like,
move over 3D printers.
I'm just like, I don't want to go to a steakhouse and say, yeah, give me that 16-ounce prime rib, and they go in the back and they hit a 3D print, and next thing you know, it's crafting you a ribeye. I'm like,
I mean,
look.
No. I love the people that do 3D printing with certain things. I will sit here and say that. Ow, damn it! Move you up here. Move you up. Anything else over there? No, just you. Okay. So
just you.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to make sure there wasn't a second thing on this. So this chair is a 3D print. Goodbye, Megatron.
Yeah.
this chair Steve Megatron printed for me. Specifically, this is the Decepticon chair from Generation 1 when the Decepticons took off and More Than Meets the Eye and followed the Autobots from Cybertron to Earth.
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Which is exactly why I have my Megatron Funko Pop standing, because he can't sit, because the Funko Pops can't sit, but he is standing in his chair. And I usually will have... why is that's Soundwave. That's usually I will have something like this on the side of the chair, and then these are, oh god, what the hell, Jada Toys nano metal figs, and they are tiny. Like the first time, literally that's metal. We finally have die cast construction back, because that is die cast metal. So yeah, 3D printing, it has its place. It should not have its place in the food industry.
No, it shouldn't.
You lazy fucks.
Yeah, I just I couldn't. So it was going to be a short, probably not a full 2-hour stream tonight, guys. Just trying to get back to swing things, news, stuff like that. So kind of what I'm also looking at doing, just kind of roll forward in the future here. So I figured I'd talk about that. I'm going to I may try to start limiting streams to about 2 hours, 2.5 hours tops, maybe 3 going forward. Oh, hold on, Mike. Hold on. That way I can also work on some editing and trying to get out some more long form videos for you guys. That includes reviews. That includes just my takes on stuff, my also gameplay, because I'm looking at some roleplay stuff. Like, for example, if you guys watched the CK3 of Alfred, I would have loved to take those 4 hours, cut it down into a 20-minute story, maybe 30 minutes at the most. So that's kind of my goal, is I'd like to do some of that. So what's important to me is, maybe in the comments after the show, let me know what you would like to see more of. I mean, so right now I'm going to do more Crusader Kings 3. I'll still be doing Project Zomboid, and I'll probably be doing first looks at stuff. Still going to be having the talk shows that we do. I am just tweaking some stuff up just a little bit to make it more exciting and to interact with you guys. Also, like the backgrounds here, things like that, I am working on improving that. It just takes a little bit of time. Artists and trying to figure that stuff out. And we will be starting to multicast, hopefully by the end of October, to, I know Mike's going to hate this, Twitch, X, Rumble, and somewhere else. I don't remember what the other one was. Oh, Kick. And it's mostly to just bring in more audiences to my channels on YouTube and stuff. Just for growth purposes, things like that. So we'll kind of figure that out. And then
Rumble, Kick, and X I'm fine with. Twitch, I don't know. They're very sus.
I haven't decided. I haven't decided entirely on that. But no, I'm working on that. Working on some different improvements. I have a couple people that I'm discussing some different things with, working on that. Also, I want to give a big thank you to Steve Megatron and TFG1 Mike for being amazing supporters over the last year and a half, something like that.
Yep.
For everything. So please definitely check out GeekCast Radio Network if you haven't yet. It is in my description. So please definitely support these guys. They have definitely helped me and supported me over the last year and a half. So, you know, I want to make sure that, you know, people know that they are great guys and they have worked with me, and I almost, you know, I consider them like a partnership. These guys are awesome, and, you know, they give me a lot of news too that I can talk about, so, and vice versa. So it's meaningful that way. So, but yeah, just let me know what kind of content you like, especially long form. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to do like the quartering or something and cover 4 or 5 news articles a day. I need more positivity in my life than sitting there and reading news articles that are depressing as shit. No offense.
Yeah, that would not be good.
Because we got enough depressing stuff in our life. Every mainstream media is negative. You go on social media, it's negative and stuff. So, I'm trying to look at, more of the bright side of things. But if I'm doing a review, yes, I will be given the negatives about it. We did a first look on Core Keeper, which was a fun, old school graphic looking game. Just something simple. That's been, honestly, surprisingly, that's been a lot of fun. I've been playing it off and on, just on my time, just to relax. So there's a lot of good games out there. But, I'm thinking reviews, storytelling, with maybe role plays from CK3, or I have a couple other ideas. Guides. The problem with guides is you have to do a lot of testing on them and then write it, and then you put it together. While I have no trouble doing that, those are time consuming. And if a game is updating a lot, your guides are only as good as the latest update. So like some of my Crusader Kings 3 guides are outdated because we went through 3 patches, I think. So I'm still trying to figure out how we want to go about that. So yeah, like I said, it's important. Let me know in the comments and on Discord what you're thinking, what you'd like to see more of. I definitely will be trying to push out more long form and shorts, and maybe we can start getting some long form out too that'll lead up to the Dragon's Lair in DJ and Green. Hopefully also check out the Gardening channel, a partnership with my mom. She has done great work since I have not been able to churn out content. I would have probably only did a video or 2 a week. Oh, she's got me so many videos I'm drowning in editing, so it's one of those things.
It's a good thing to have, though.
Yeah, it's a good thing because it's all evergreen content, because gardening really don't change. I mean, you may have we have some new tools that we're going to show people, but it doesn't really change that much. So check out Kai Dragon Gardening and Cooking if you haven't. For that, there'll be some cooking this fall and stuff. I do have those plans, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Thank you for the likes, guys. I really appreciate y'all. And
don't forget, folks, I am the real Loop.
Also, I will be having some merchandise that you guys will be able to see as test run on here probably next week or 2. Testing out a coffee mug with my logo and some other stuff. So if this stuff, if it looks cool and stuff, I may try to consider setting up a store for it. But right now, that's kind of hit or miss. And hello, Kel. So yeah, I think I covered everything I was going to talk about tonight. I know it's not the full 2 hours tonight, but that and kind of been distracted. As you saw, people were coming back in here. They were trying to hurry to get cameras. I haven't been very quiet about this, but my dad has surgery tomorrow, so I am just, a little nervous about it. Just because I don't talk a lot about it, but immune deficiency diseases are disastrous. And
no, Cal. No. And
so, anesthesia and stuff like that will not react well with him. So I do worry about that. And thanks for the prayers, Cal. We really do appreciate that. It's so if I seem a little distracted, that's part of it, since I know he goes in at 6 a.m. and I'll be at work tomorrow. Because, there's no reason me be there at the hospital and sit there for several hours. I'll have access to the phone and stuff, but yeah, that's one thing I hope one of these days we can get big enough here that I'd love to do charities for autoimmune disease research and stuff, because a lot of those are incurable. It sucks. And we need more money for research and that stuff. So I'd love to keep doing good. That's what we do here, is try to do good. And
absolutely,
Kel says, of course, tell him I'm thinking I will do, Kel. Anyway, so with that, I'll be hanging on Discord for a little bit longer tonight, and then kind of see what happens. Tomorrow night, as long as there isn't nothing catastrophic, I will be streaming tomorrow night. So,
depending on what the neurosurgeon says tomorrow, I may or may not be around. But yeah.
That's what. Yeah. So we'll kind of see what we do tomorrow night, guys. Just because I have no idea how things will play out. I'm hoping I'll be here because I took Monday and Sunday off. If everything goes well, I'll be streaming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, twice on Saturday, and then take off Sunday and Monday. So that's kind of the goals, and then be back to a regular, probably 5 days a week, because I think that's the healthiest, is to have a couple days off to work on projects off stream. Yep. So with that, I bid you all good night. Thank you. Until next time.
Thanks, everybody. See you later.
Hold on.
Why?
I'm waiting.
Yeah, you're waiting.